This is the ARTvocates podcast, brought to you by Streets Projects Foundation, Enugu Youth Entrepreneurship Network, supported by Voice Global.
This is the ARTvocates podcast.
Hello, listener. Welcome to another episode of the ARTvocates podcast. In case this is your first time, ARTvocates is a group of young people who believe in using their art to talk about social justice issue, and which is one of the things we are going to be doing on today's episode of the podcast. My name is Daniel, and I have other advocates in the studio with me, where we're going to be talking about something very important, something very critical in our Nigerian society today, which is religious intolerance. Before I dive into the topic, I will just briefly take the introduction from my co-advocates that are with me in the studio.
Yeah, ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first. The one beautiful shining lady now.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Awalite Favor Faith, and I'm a writer.
My name is Emi Kidd, and I'm a dance advocate.
My name is Crosswords, David Ikani, and I'm a rapper, a spoken word poet, and I'm an advocate.
Oh, yeah. My name is Abiodun Jacob, and I'm a graphic artist.
A great one at that, very good graphic artist. All right, thank you guys. So as a background to what we are talking about today, we all know that Nigeria is a country that's made up of three religions, mainly talking about Islam, Christianity, and traditional worshippers. Now, it has been made clear in Nigeria that Nigeria is a secular nation, which means that it is not governed by the laws of any religion that makes up the country. So the first question that's begging for answer right now is, what is religious intolerance and how present it is in the Nigerian society? Favor.
Okay, religious intolerance is actually a blind or negative attitude towards a certain religious practice because it's contrary to your own belief. Simply put, as not tolerating another person's religion because it's different from yours.
Okay, so you not tolerating another person's religion because it's different from yours?
Yes.
Okay, so how do people express that specifically? Yes.
A group of people or a group of religious sector is against another religious sector and what they believe in. This will come about religious conflict.
Okay, so one of the main ways this religious intolerance show is through religious conflict.
Yes.
And we see that in Nigeria.
Of course, it's everly present in Nigeria.
All right, so Cross, over to you.
Okay.
What do you think are some of the main causes of this religious intolerance, particular religious conflict?
Well, first of all, for me, I feel like the major problem is we tend to always want another man to wear our shoes without actually realizing that we are of different sizes. Let me give you an example. If I was born in the house of Mr. Muhammad, my name wouldn't be David. My name would obviously be something like Musa or Shehu. And then, due to the fact that we don't actually understand each other's religion, we don't take the time to be open-minded, we don't give space for dialogue to understand each other, we tend to judge another person based off their beliefs and what we have as an idea of what their belief is. I think that's like one of the major causes. The fact that ignorance is one of the major causes.
All right, talking about shoes, where you mentioned, it reminded me of a quote by George Carlin, where he said, "Religion is like a pair of shoes. Find one that fits you, but don't make me wear your shoes." Abby, you want to say something on that?
Yeah. So, just like what you said, wearing another man's shoes is the major problem we're facing in Nigeria generally. And what I would like to come in this way, like, you have to tolerate the other person's religion. Like, you should not force somebody to be what you are because you feel is right. We all have different opinions, different perspectives, different narratives, and different ways of understanding things. So you can't force somebody to believe in what you believe in just because you feel it's right. And then let's come in this way, and I feel like it's one of the major problems we're having in Nigeria now regarding the area of Boko Haram and the rest. This is purely religion intolerance, forcing another person to become what you are because you feel is right.
Okay, thank you very much, Abby, for that. That also leads me to my next question. You talked about religious intolerance leading to emerging of some insurgents group and terrorism and all of that. So aside that, are there other dangers attached to religious intolerance?
Yeah, of course there are. Loss of lives is one of the major things. Like what we're witnessing right now in Nigeria, you see a lot of people losing their lives just because there's a bandit attack here and there. A lot of people are losing their life. And one of the major causes of this thing is actually education. How to come in from that point of education. You know, when you educate people and then they know that when you kill somebody is wrong, not regarding any reason why you're taking that person's life. So education is one of the reasons why I think religious intolerance is becoming the order of the day. Yeah, so when people are educated, when they know what's right, they know what to do. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Cross, we are all youth here, and our major listener are youth. How does an average Nigerian youth come into play talking about religious intolerance?
Okay, speaking on that, I will first of all tell you what happened in Kafanchan in 1987.
Okay.
This religious crisis actually sprung from simply a Muslim convert who converted to Christianity, speaking or making blasphemous remarks against Islam and was misinterpreting the Quran while preaching. And this led to fights between Christians and Muslims on the campus. And these were actually youths. I mean, let's be realistic. If you go around and you see a crisis happening, a riot happening somewhere, take for instance the Jos riot, for instance, you would actually realize that 80 to 90% of the people involved in this fight are actually people between the ages of 18, 17 to 35. I mean, it's crazy. This is like the youths are usually the tools being used to perpetrate this evil of religious intolerance, and so the youth plays a major role.
So by even the youths being the major actors in the conflict, it means they take the more damage.
Exactly.
They take the more damage.
So we end up dying for the sins of our parents, just like the Bible says in the book of Jeremiah.
Also, thank you for making reference to what happened in Kafanchan, and then that reminded me, according to modern ideology of religious conflict, we could trace it back to 1953 in Kano, where there was a major conflict between the Northerners and the Southerners, where the Northerners wanted to remain under the British rule, and the Southerners were actually agitating that we should get our own independence, and that was actually the first modern day religious conflict that we have in Nigeria. Now that has gone on from 1953 till date. Favor, why have we not gone past that stage? Why is it that we've had issues of transport and we develop cars, we've had issues of road and we build roads. So from 1953 till date, we are still having the issues of religious conflict in Nigeria. What are we not doing, and how come we have not passed that problem? Favor.
Yeah, Nigeria is a country with over 400 ethnic groups, and so that makes us a multi-ethnic nation. So crises and conflicts like this are bound to arise in a country whereby you have different sectors. You have different sectors of religions, you have different sectors of tribes, you have different multi-ethnic groups. These kind of issues are bound to arise. The only thing we have to do is sit back and go back to the drawing board and figure out how we would try to represent each religion, each ethnicity. You notice I put in ethnicity, yes, because religion and ethnicity, especially in a country like ours, is interwoven together. You cannot separate religion and separate ethnicity as far as Nigeria is concerned. So this is something, because of how large or because of how much more ethnic group we have, diversity. How much, yes, exactly, diversity, because of the diversity we have in the country, these issues are bound to rise. It's not as simple as a transportation. And now you're dealing with humans here. Humans are irrational. You have to, one man's mind is different from another man's mind. One man's teaching, one man's belief is different from another man's belief. So this is a situation we will always continue to have unless we sit at a table and dialogue and talk about these issues.
Okay, dialogue about the issue. You are already taking us to the solutions. We are going to get to that very soon. And let me just chip in the fact that, religious conflict takes place in Nigeria. Experts have identified about 6 reasons. Number one, for political sake. It means that some politicians actually sit down and they think of how to stir up religious conflict so that they can have political game. That's true. If you discover that where you are competing, there are more of this particular religion in that particular area, so you tend to stir them up against the other to gain political mandate from that set of people, and of course for economic reasons.
Wait, before you move on, can I say something, please? Okay. I would like to say something before you move on. Just like you said, politicians actually use this as a tool, and it didn't even just start in Nigeria. This is something that dates back to as far as the beginning of the earth. I could say that because check it, from the time of the Israelites to the Crusaders to every people that has come and walked past the earth, religion has always been an issue. And it becomes a major issue in Nigeria. Why? Because politicians are greedy. Let's be realistic in Nigeria. We have leaders.
Politics is a game of I want it all.
You understand? I want it all. So automatically they utilize the one thing that they know they can use, which is belief. Once you can toy with a person's belief, you can mess everything up. Once you can toy with a person's faith and you can twist their faith, automatically you operate their own faith. I mean FATE.
All right, so Cross, you are going to tell us more on how the youth especially can get free from that grip that the politicians have used to hold us using the religion for political gains. But for now, we are going to go on a short break, and don't go anywhere. Remember that this podcast is brought to you by ARTvocates Movement, which is basically a state project foundation program in collaboration with the Enugu Youth Entrepreneurship Network with support from Voice. Don't go anywhere. Let's listen to this song. It's Ordinary People by Kopams Asuko. We'll be right back.
A child in the distance, playing in the rain, the sweet sound of water flowing away, a construction worker coming home from work, two parents and their children going to church, a happy little baby drools on your shirt. What an extraordinary day. Let us have a world of ordinary people living life the way God wants us to. And if we have a world of ordinary people, extraordinary things will happen to me and you. Just a man, but he'd kill his son for the price of a lamb. And let us consider ordinary Job, who lost it all, but in God had his hope. Now ordinary David, a little shepherd boy, brought down Goliath with a stone and a toy. Sweet little Jesus, ordinary child, the carpenter's first son, humble and mild. If anybody told you he'd be Messiah, you probably would laugh it off, I know. So let us have a world of ordinary people living life the way God wants us to. And if we have a world of ordinary people, extraordinary things will happen to me and you. Every little baby has the power to be great, and every tall tree grew up from some mustard seed. No ordinary children going off to war, 'cause no single leader is worth dying for. No ordinary mother will cry herself to sleep, 'cause no ordinary father will come home after 3 a.m. that is. So let us have a world of ordinary people living life the way God wants us to. And if we have a world of ordinary people, extraordinary things. Oh. happened to me and
You are listening to
The ARTvocates podcast.
All right, listener, welcome back from that short break. That was the song of Kopam's Asuku, and he called that one Ordinary People. And I think this is kind of song we need to listen to right now.
Sure.
Yes. So, Cross, before you tell us about how the Nigerian youth can get away from the grip the politicians has over them using religious conflict as a tool for political gain, I've not heard Emiki's voice for a while, so I want Emiki to say something. So, Emiki, before we speak to the youth, say something to the politicians that are actually taking advantage of our diversity in religion for political gains.
Hello, politicians. Okay, this is for you. These have actually brought to separation in the country. The youth has actually been the one driving this. It have led to so many deaths because those who fight for these politicians are the youth. So if the youth continue to do this, that means we'll have no future. We'll have no leaders of our tomorrow. We'll have no people who will stand and defend what Nigeria stands for. So I'm saying this to the politicians that we should build Nigeria and make Nigeria one. We should stop this. You're this and you're that. I'm from here. The division. Thank you. We should bring us together. Yes, us. We should bring us together. We should try to stand as one and speak with one voice. And I know with this, we'll go places and far. Thank you.
Very important point. If you get to destroy the country for political gains in there, say, wait till we gain. Like, wait till you gain. Say, you don't rule finish. Country no can day again. Understand? Yes, very, very powerful point. So, Cross, back to you.
Okay. Sorry, repeat your question again.
Yes, can you talk to the average Nigerian youth? How do we get away from the grip the politicians have over us?
For me, I feel like religious tolerance or intolerance, arguably, must have begun with an individual at the end of the day. It starts with the person. It starts with a person who decides to influence another person to either be tolerant or intolerant. So, as a youth in Nigeria, ask yourself, how many times are there situations I have been intolerant to another man's religion? Because if we check it, even we sitting down right here, there might have been instances that you have probably maybe judged another man because of his beliefs, judged another person because of their beliefs. So first of all, it starts with you changing your own self, changing your own heart, being open-minded to accepting the fact that other ideas and other beliefs might actually be a path that's right to another man, even if it doesn't look right to you. Then secondly, as a youth in Nigeria, dialogue. Like she said, like Favor said, she said dialogue, she said something. Dialogue is one of the most important things in remedying any situation that involves a person's state of mind. Because once you talk to someone, once you open up to someone, once you interact with someone, you leave the ground open for understanding. So it starts with dialogue. Talk to someone, open up to someone. When you feel like, okay, you don't understand this person's perspective, or you are judging someone by their own religion, talk to them, understand why they believe in what they believe in.
Okay, and to add to that, even if I don't understand why you do what you do, I don't think I should have a problem with you doing what you do, as long as it does not affect me in any way.
Exactly.
You understand? Yes.
Exactly.
So, yeah, very, 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 very important point there. Favor, there's something I want to talk about briefly. There are people who call gatekeepers when it comes to some issues, and religious conflict. We'll be able to identify some gatekeepers to include political leaders, religious leaders, traditional leaders, and of course the governing system. Talking about of course back to political leaders, but generally the government system and all. So what kind of dialogue do you think we should be having as a nation? Because first of all, we've agreed that Nigeria is not a Christian nation or Islamic nation or traditional nation. We are supposed to be a secular nation. So what kind of dialogue should you be having among these major stakeholders?
There will be need for an inter-religious dialogue because Nigeria is a pluralistic state, means it has, which I've beforehand mentioned, it's a pluralistic state, meaning there should be need for inter-religious dialogue because what we are talking about is religious intolerance. There should be need for inter-religious dialogue to discuss the various aspects of the problem that pose as a threat to the peaceful coexistence between different religious groups. These are the kinds of discussion we should be having. How do I, in my own religion, respect my neighbor's religion? Because at the end of everything, all we have is ourselves. We are neighbor's keeper. most sectors, most religious sectors have always, the ones I have been opportuned to learn from, to notice from cutting across various religious groups, they've always preached for peace. And the only way we can get that peace is by coexistence, peaceful coexistence. And the only way we can get that is if we can get to sit down at the round table, everybody representing their own views. It's just me owning up or me being okay with the fact that you do what you do, it serves your goal. In as much as it doesn't inconvenience the next man, it's your religion, it's your belief, it's your practice. Man without religion, I don't think it's a man, because you need to have something you believe in. You need to have something that is backing
Even if you
up.
don't believe in anything, you still believe.
You still believe. Yeah. So these are exactly. So these are the factors we should put into consideration. We should it's more about interreligious dialogue. Another thing I think would be very important is that the Constitution must be respected. The Constitution was kept in place for us for a certain reason. And now, according to the 1999 amended Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in Section 38, subsection 1, it states, every person shall be entitled to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, including freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom to manifest and propagate his religion or belief in worship, teaching, practice, and in observance. It's it's down to the point. Everybody is free to his or her believe, what you believe. And since the Constitution is backing it, I don't really think there is anything anybody has to say about it. You are free to what you believe
let's
in.
all respect the Constitution.
Exactly.
Irrespective of your own personal belief.
Yeah.
So, Abby, you're just nodding your head. You have anything to add to that?
Don't mind me. Yeah, so actually, she has said it all. But the truth is, we have to learn to accommodate ourselves. That's just the truth. Okay, saying that, I would like to just relate with us a small story. So actually, it's a story that happened back then in Yoruba land then. So there was actually this king, you understand, his favorite soup is dried okra. So he has a very clean space where he dries his okra. But there was this time, so the people from other countries, so they came visiting, those people were Muslim. And this man is an idol worshipper, you understand, to be specific. He's a traditional worshipper, to be specific, all right? So, but when they came, there was no place for them to more like pray and do the rest. Could you believe this king actually gave that space where he dries his okra for them to pray? This is like allowing somebody else to come in. When other people come in, you gain from them, they gain from you. This thing is give and take. When those people now came and then they prayed and then, before you know it, things started moving forward. It's not as if their belief is not moving things forward. But when there's unity in anything, the unity moves things forward. You get? So when these people came, prayed, and there was this relationship. And from there, a lot of, education and the rest. It still boils down to education. When you know what's right, then you do what's right. Like I used to say, you don't have to fight for God. Do your thing, let another man do his thing, and then let God be the judge. You don't have to fight for God. There's no place that God is requesting you to come in to fight for him. So I believe a lot of people are actually getting that part wrong. That when you do this, when you're defending your belief, you're actually fighting for God. So you can't fight for God. So in that sense, I think religious intolerance is something that should just go off. It should just go away. And this can only be done when we start to understand the unity that can actually build up between ourselves.
Sorry. Yeah, to join from your story about the king who gave up his space for the Muslim people to come in and pray.
Yeah.
It's actually a nice attribute for a leader. A leader or anyone in power should not allow his religious inclination to override the common interest. Yeah. Like he gave up, he's a traditionalist. He knew he could have as well say, nah, you people should take your God away. But he gave it up. Like he gave up his space. That's for you coexistence. So any leader or any political leader in power should not allow his or her own religious inclination to override the common interest. Sorry, I don't know why I keep coming saying common entrance. Because this also brings us to the Constitution, which is Section 10. It says the government of the federation or of the state shall not adopt any religion as a state religion. It's being backed up by the Constitution again. Irrespective of your personal religion or your personal choice of worship, it should not be the common religion religion of the state. You being a Muslim doesn't make your state or make your country automatically a Muslim country. Likewise Christian, and likewise every other traditional worship.
You know, that part is actually something that we need to work on really in Nigeria, because I can see some states in the south trying to enforce their beliefs on the people, and also we see it in the north also. Okay, because we are out of time, briefly, maybe we'll just take some final words from everybody. We're starting with Cross.
Okay, when Abe was speaking, he mentioned something about education.
Yes.
And for me, I feel this is like the biggest solution to this problem.
Yeah.
If we take a look at the north, which has like one of the highest amount of religious crises in Nigeria, if we are being realistic, there is a deliberate design to actually keep philosophy departments out of. Check it. There is actually, if you go through Nigerian universities in the north, there are barely universities except maybe the University of Abuja and a few private universities that actually take philosophy as a course. And philosophy is something that opens our mind to actually accepting everybody for who they are. So get educated. Get educated. Open your mind and just accept every man for who he is.
All right. Thank you very much, Emiki.
Okay. Why now? I'm a man of few words. Okay, so I'll just say the politicians, back to you, and generally to the government. Let's live as one. Our leaders, thank you, Crossword, man of words. Let's live as one. Let's trash this whole thing. Let's come together. I believe Nigeria is a great nation. And if we come together as one, put heads together, put hands together,
we can do great things.
Thank you, Mr. Papilo.
Abe.
Oh yeah, thank you very, very much. All right, so like you said, I'm also a man of few words, so don't mind me saying a few words. So for me, I think that's just it. Learning to accommodate other people is the way forward. All right, so I don't even know why in some primary schools or secondary schools why they have specific schools for Muslims and then some specific schools for Christian. No, it shouldn't be that way. Let these people be together. Let them exchange knowledge. Let them interact. We are one. Before this whole religion thing, before Christianity, before Muslim, we are all human beings and we are all Africans. So why do we have to kill ourselves because of religion? We don't really have to kill ourselves because of religion. So for me, I think this is a time to put aside religion, put aside differences, and then let's make and move this country forward. On our coat of arms, we have it there, written boldly, peace and unity. Let this peace and unity, let it stand.
Let it rain.
Let it rain.
Abe is about to start charging up that. Favor. Okay, over to you.
So is basically my message is to everybody. The job is not for one particular person. The job is for all of us to do. We can go around sensitizing people about it. Sensitize yourself first. Sensitize everybody around you about how openness and how being open to other people's religious belief actually would help us attain this our goal for the peace and unity. To reign, yeah.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. That was a very wonderful contribution. So, in summary, our first message to you listening to us as a youth is that don't be a tool in the hands of others to propagate religious conflict. And very important, education plays a vital role in stopping religious conflict. But we are not saying don't get educated on your religion. You need to know how to serve your God better. It's a personal choice, you understand. And we started by defining what religious intolerance is. So at this point, I think we are safe to say religious tolerance is actually accepting another man's belief to do his thing his own way, even if it inconveniences you, like the story of Abe. As long as you can endure it, just take it and let peace reign. Thank you very much for listening to us on this special episode of the Advocacy podcast series. And don't forget, this was brought to you by Street Project Foundation in collaboration with the Enugu Youth Entrepreneurship Network, with support from Voice. And you can also check, we have other episodes where we talk about different issues concerning the society, particularly the youth. We'll talk about other social justice issues. You can check around and listen to other podcasts. And of course, let's take this discussion on social media. You can find us on Instagram and other social media handles at Street Project Foundation. Thank you very much. My name once again is Daniel Caleb. Thank you for having me.